We may have a couple more people be joining us over the next couple of minutes, but I do want to get started because I know everyone is really busy, and I want to get through as much as I can to leave room for any questions that anybody might have. So we might hear a couple more, bings as people join the meeting, but I'll make sure that it's not too much of a distraction as more of those bings might happen. So first, I want to just thank everybody for joining me this morning. If you guys had the day off yesterday, I hope you guys had a great day off. But today we are going to be talking about Proposals 2.0. And so I'm kind of excited about this because often when we do webinars, it's a brand new feature that's coming out. And what's really exciting about this one is that it's a major update to an existing feature. So before we get started, just some housekeeping as always. You might notice that next to your name, you see a red icon, whether it's a phone or a microphone, and that is on purpose. I do have everyone muted just to sort of keep background noise to a minimum. But with that said, we do want to hear any questions that you have. So in the chat box, whether you're using the GoToMeeting control panel or you're using GoToMeeting in your browser, you'll see an option called chat. And that is where I recommend that you place any questions. I do have Brittany Carroll on the call with me today. Many of you have probably spoken to her through our support channel, but she's here today to moderate any questions that come through. So please do drop any questions in there. Make sure you make them available to everyone, and then we will get any of those questions answered at the end of today. So let's just jump right into it. So what are we going to cover today? So as all of you got the email, we're going to be talking about the Proposals 2.0. What are the benefits of this upgrade if you choose to upgrade to Proposals 2.0? Also, what are the benefits if you just turn on Proposals? So this is something that's available to all InspectPoint users at no additional cost. So I really want to kind of show you guys this feature, some of the benefits of it, and let you decide if this is something that you want to turn on or upgrade to. I'm also going to show you some of the default items. So the nice thing about this proposal upgrade is that we give you the ability to really get a lot of defaults set. So I'm going to show you how you can set default terms and conditions, exclusions, scopes of work, so that when you're creating a proposal, you can quickly grab the terms and conditions or the exclusions that really apply to that proposal you're trying to create. I'm going to, of course, create and send a proposal. And then what we're going to do is hop over into my email, and I'm going to show you what it looks like when your customer receives that proposal. And then I'm going to show you how your customer will accept or reject that proposal, and then how you are able to, in the back end of InspectPoint, see the status of those proposals. So whether it's sent, what if it was viewed, if it was accepted, or if it was rejected. So I kind of mentioned the benefits of this upgrade. So before we jump into it, a nice thing about this proposals, whether you're on 1.0 or 2.0, it's kind of the only way I can refer to it, but whatever version of it that you're on is proposals is baked into the price of InspectPoint. So if you do not have proposals turned on now, and after seeing this is something that you want, you don't have to worry about an additional invoice being sent your way. Everything is really included in the price. So there's no hidden charge. It's nice. This upgrade to 2.0 gives you the ability to give a little bit more information to your customer. So you have the ability to include exclusions, a summary of work, and just a couple more things that aren't really necessarily available in the original or 1.0 version of proposals. And then the other thing is that you are notified when someone accepts or rejects. So with the 2.0 version, and this is only available in the 2.0 version, your customer has the ability to accept or reject the proposal that is emailed to them. You are then notified via a notification, which we're going to have a notifications webinar in March that'll kind of show you how you can subscribe to these things right inside InspectPoint. But you're notified via those notifications whether a customer has accepted or rejected a proposal. So with all that, let's just kind of hop into the products. I'm going to pull up my demo version of InspectPoint here. And what I want to do is I want to navigate right over to the settings area. I want to show you where you can, from the very beginning, get a lot of your proposal settings set up. So I'm going to go up into this upper right-hand corner, and I'm going to select proposal settings. Now, from here, I have the ability to add basically defaults for every option here. Now, I can add terms and conditions. Say I have terms and conditions that are different based on my service versus my inspection work. I can set all of those up. Basically, it allows me to be a little bit faster when I'm creating these proposals. Instead of typing or copying and pasting, I set them up as a default. I can select them quickly when I am creating that proposal. So if I click onto terms and conditions here, I'll see that I have a couple of terms and conditions already set. I might have just a basic terms and conditions. I might have a terms and conditions for service work. What I want to do is I want to go ahead and maybe set up a terms and conditions for inspection work. So I'm going to go ahead and just click new terms and conditions, give it a name. So I'm just going to call this T&C inspections. And now the name that you add here is internal only. So your customer won't see like, oh, they only selected the inspections or they only inspected the service one. They'll only see the terms and conditions that are in this box here. So we'll go ahead and I just have a little thing here. I'll just copy and paste this in, a little lorem ipsum. And I'm going to go ahead and click save. Now, when I go to create my proposal, I'm going to have this as an option for me. So I can come into here and I can have service and I can have my inspections. If anything ever changes, you can quickly just come in and click edit, make any edits to it that you may need, and click update. I'll go back out to my terms and or my proposal settings up here. And I have the same thing for maybe some exclusions. So right now I might have my sales tax, right? That might be a common exclusion. Sales tax not included, but another exclusion could be, labor not included. Maybe we really don't know what the labor is going to be until we know what's officially accepted. Then we'll give a quote for the labor. So maybe we want a new exclusion in here that's just labor. And when we select it, we can say labor not included. And we'll go ahead and click save. And so we can just keep repeating that process, setting up some of these defaults up here in this area. So like I said, when we're creating the proposal, we can quickly select these from a dropdown. So we don't have to kind of recreate the wheel every time we're creating that proposal. Now, to create a proposal, if you have proposals already turned on, it's going to be in the same location. It's going to be in this proposals tab on the left sidebar. If you don't have proposals turned on, you probably don't see this tab over here. But if you have proposals turned on, you'll see proposals and a drop-down arrow. What you're going to do is click on that drop-down and then click proposals. Now what you're going to do to create a new proposal is click new proposal in the upper right-hand corner. Then this new 2.0 version is going to kind of walk you through creating this proposal. So it's very similar to if you have inspection series turned on inside your instance. It's sort of a widget that's going to walk you through and show you everything that's either required or options that you have to create and add to your proposal. So I'm just going to go ahead and create a proposal. So anything with this little red icon next to it is required. So I'm going to go ahead and give this a name. So I'm just going to do proposal sample 9 a.m. It's automatically going to create those proposal numbers. It's going to start at 1 for you. However, if you're using an existing proposal software and you do need your proposals to, start at a certain number, we can make that happen in the database so that you can kind of just like pick up where you left off. It's automatically going to put today's date, but you can always come in there and overwrite that date. So if you know you're not going to send it for a week or so, you can adjust the date. This is nice because you can choose the building that you're actually going to send this to. So from this dropdown, you're going to see all of your buildings here. Let's say that in this case, I'm creating this proposal. I just did some inspection work at Winterfell. All my Game of Thrones fans out there, it's starting soon. But so we just did an inspection at Winterfell, and I want to get a proposal out there. So I'm going to select Winterfell. And because I have this information tied as my main contact at the building, it's going to go to Ned Stark here. However, for all intents and purposes, I can't have this go to Ned Stark because I want you guys to see what it looks like. So I'm going to overwrite that email, and I'm just going to go ahead and put my email in here so we can see what it looks like. I'm then going to go ahead and say who prepared this proposal. So I went ahead and I'm preparing this proposal for Ned Stark at this building, and this is the proposal name that he's going to see. I'm going to go ahead and click next as I add these, as I have already added that information. Now, this is new too, and this is only available with Proposals 2.0. You'll notice that I have the option to still add proposed corrections, and I also have the option to add line items, just like I would with the original version of proposals. However, with 2.0, I now have the ability to add deficiencies directly to a proposal. So as I see in this deficiencies area up top, these are all open deficiencies that I have at this building right now. If I want to go ahead and add a deficiency directly to this proposal, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to click the plus button next to that deficiency. It will remove it from that deficiencies list up above, and it'll place it down as a line item. Now it's going to show the exact question. So if you want to expand on this to let your customer know, like, yes, this is the question it was identified at, maybe I need to, replace cap. That's going to give it a unit price. I'm going to give that maybe $100, and there's my total right there. Now that's a line item. I can continue to add deficiencies as a line item. I can go ahead and add a completely custom line item if I want. Or I guess I should say, or I can go ahead and add some corrections. Now those corrections are those fixed priced items that I have set up over in that proposal area. I'll send some documentation around with this recording. If you are interested in setting up corrections and you don't know how to, I'll send up some documentation. But essentially, these are fixed priced items. So I'm going to come down and I'm going to select maybe one of my corrections in there. I'm going to say how many I need, and I'm going to give it that total. Now, proposal factors, those are also set up as defaults. So if I needed to add any of those factors to this, I could here from this dropdown. And let's just say this is all I have on my proposal. Before I move on, if I am adding tax to this, I can just, in that sales tax field down at the bottom, just add that applicable sales tax, and it will adjust the price for me. If I'm going to be using the exclusion that there's no sales price or sales tax, I can just remove this and click next. Now, here is where all of those lovely defaults that we set up really come into play. So if we want to add a summary to this proposal, and I guess I should preface by saying too, none of these are required. You can fill in some of these, all of them, or none of them. But let's just go ahead and we have a summary added. I'm not going to add a scope of work, but if I did, I actually don't have any set up. So I can click add scope of work and it'll bop me back over to my default setting and I can go ahead and add them. In this case, I want to add an exclusion of sales tax to say sales tax is not included. And I would like to use my terms and conditions for my inspections. I'm going to go ahead and click next. And now I'm just going to see a preview of what it would look like if my customer downloaded this as a PDF. So I'm going to see this information here. I'm going to see the information for the building. I'll see the summary. I'll see the description, the exclusion, terms and conditions, and the place for them to sign off. However, I have not sent this to my customer yet. So what I actually want to do is click Save and Send. And when I do that, a pop-up is going to appear on the screen. Now, if I do not have an email, I have to add an email in here because otherwise it's not going to get to where it needs to go. So we'll see a preview of the email that's going to be sent, the subject line, and then, here's the link. They'll see it. They can click on it. If you need to or want to make any adjustments to the text, to add things, to remove things, you can by clicking in. And then when you're ready, you'll click Save and Send. Now, when you do that, you will be redirected kind of back to what your customer will see. Now, what I'm going to do is I am just going to pull up my email and I am going to show you now what I see. So I just got an email that says the proposal for who it's for is ready to go. Now I'm going to click onto this link here. And when I do, it's going to open up for me an HTML view of that proposal. So now I'm going to see it. I'm going to see, who it's for, all of my information, my summary, exclusion, terms and conditions. And then this is the nice new feature. Your customer can accept or reject it right away, right here. Now, if they click decline, it is required that they leave a note and they also leave their name. So if they're declining it, they have to basically give a reason why, and they have to have a name so that if anything ever happens, you can say this person declined it and here is what they said. If they accept the proposal, they have to, and this is a great place, they at least have to put their name. But a great place to put in that, or a great thing to put in that accept notes, is actually a PO number. So if you can get that from your customer when they accept the proposal, high five on that one. But they can place a PO number in there, they can add anything they want, and they can say who accepted. So I'm just going to actually go ahead and I'm going to accept this. This is a great proposal. I'm going to go ahead and just accept it and click accept. Now I'm going to be redirected back to this screen as the customer. So your customer would see this, and then they have the ability to just basically click here to download a PDF version of that proposal if they want one on hand as well. Back inside of Inspect Point, I will be notified via this alert up top here that a proposal has been accepted. As well, via this proposals tab over here, I will now see that proposal I just sent to Winterfell is in the accepted status. Now, a nice thing about this is that, like I said, we have statuses now with the 2.0 version. So you will always see in that status if it was accepted, if it was declined, if it was not sent to your customer yet, you will see it as a draft. If it was sent to your customer but not viewed, it will be in a sent status. And if it was viewed by your customer but nothing was done, you will see a viewed status. So you're now able to see, hey, I haven't heard from this person. Have they even looked at it yet? Well, they have, but I haven't heard anything. So when you go to give them a call about it, you might have a little bit more information to go off of. So with all that said, that is how you would go ahead and sort of send out that proposal, what it would look like for your customer, and then how you would be notified. So if we just look at some key takeaways from this, a lot of it is that it's a known, and you know when something is rejected or accepted. So less phone calls, all of that, quicker responses. You can add more details and defaults. So you can quickly get these out the door. And we all know that the faster you get a proposal out the door, the more likely it is to be accepted so that you can get the service done and you can get invoices out the door as well. And then the big thing too is that there's no additional cost to add proposals or upgrade to this version of proposals. Another big thing though is this is not a required upgrade. So if you are on version 1.0 and you like it, you've got a nice flow, you do not have to upgrade to 2.0, but it is an option for you. So sort of with that said, do we have any questions? Brittany, do you?
Jen, I don't see any questions. No, I don't see any questions on my end.
Okay, perfect. Okay.
Oh, just kidding. I found one. Landon wants to know will our inspectors be able to create proposals in the field?
That's a great question. So this upgrade does not impact the technicians in the field. They will also be able to create proposals just the same out in the field. They won't be able to, on the iPad, be able to add items like exclusions and terms and conditions and all of that, but they can add items like the proposed corrections, the line items, and sales tax. And then when the proposal is sent back to the office, that's when the office can add the additional information like terms and conditions, exclusions, etc.
Okay. Jason wants to know, do you have the ability to update the status manually?
Oh, that's a good question. I don't believe so. I think it's all actions taken by them, but I'd have to check on that. Um, I'll have to get back to you on that. I believe it's all triggered by actions taken by the customer, but I'm sure there's a way to override it. And if there's not, we can definitely add something like that.
Okay. John wants to know, is there a way to break down labor and materials? Some clients need that breakdown.
Right now, what we would recommend is that's just a combination of right now, a lot of corrections and line items, so you can break that down. Um, we are adding sort of a service component where there will be like a more of a materials list, and you can drop and drag from that. But right now, what people would do is just a combination of line items and corrections, sort of have it all broken down in one.
All right. So Lane Beach says, can you still download as a PDF and send instead of sending directly through Inspect Point?
Yes. So on the proposal screen, you would, instead of save and send, you would just save, and then you would go back to the main inspection screen, and then there's a download button, and you could download it and send it through your own email instead of sending it through Inspect Point, if you prefer that option.
Okay. Someone says, will a future release be able to only tax, or excuse me, will a future release be able to only tax material only?
That is on the product backlog. That's a good one. So yeah, so only taxing materials, not labor or anything like that. Right now, tax is applied to everything. However, in a future release, we will have it so that you can check next to the items that tax are applied to or are applicable for, and that would apply the tax according to the items that you check next to.
Okay, so Terry Dunn says, what happens if the customer opens the email, is not ready to make a decision? Is it required that a decision is made at the time of opening the email?
Good question. So no, they're not required. They can always go back in and access that link. So if they view it, they have to talk it over. They have to look at numbers or anything like that. They can look at the link. They can download it if they want, and then they can always go back to that link and accept or decline from there.
And then Herman, hi Herman, says, is there a way to import this proposal to QuickBooks?
Right now, we do not have an integration with QuickBooks, but there might be a way for you to maybe export out something to import it into QuickBooks. But right now, we do not have anything formal with QuickBooks. These are all great questions,
so
guys.
Those are all the questions that I see on my end for now.
Okay, perfect. Can anyone think of any other questions? This was good. This was probably the most questions I've ever gotten. So thank you for that, guys. If you think of anything after the fact, please don't hesitate to contact us. I will be recording this, and I'll send out a recording as well as some links that I think you might find helpful. But if you think of anything, please don't hesitate to contact us at support@inspectpoint.com. Also, if you are interested in upgrading to this 2.0 version and you do not have it, you do have to contact us to let us know. Because it's not a required update, if you don't hear from you, we're not going to touch anything. So if you're interested in upgrading to this, or if you have any questions, please just email us at support@inspectpoint.com with any questions, or to let us know, hey, I'm really interested in 2.0. Can you turn this on for me? Also, like I said, if you think of any questions after the fact, don't hesitate to contact us there. So that's all that I have for today. I want to thank all of you for joining. We're really excited about this upgrade. And as you start using it, if you have any questions or feedback, as always, just let us know. And that is all. So you guys are free to go for the rest of the day. And thank you so much for joining.